Good evening, Vashta.
Good evening, Treb.
How are you doing this evening?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing very well, and thank you. And Rochelle, how are you doing this evening? Yes! I know that you have many questions and ideas that you wish to share, so whenever you are ready to begin, you may.
Thank you. Um, First of all, I want to express to you that you have my full permission to touch my energy and look into it. And
Yes!
I wanted to ask you about, first of all, about my soul connections in regards to extraterrestrial consciousness. The main ones. What are they?
Yes! One moment as I look into this. You are very aware of how to push the energy, so whenever
Yes.
you wish to do this, you may, and in one moment I will connect.
Okay, I will do this now.
One moment, please. Yes, within your own uh, connectability, if you will, to entities that reside within the higher portions of the cell, or higher density entities, whichever way you wish to see this or perceive this. There are many entities that are truly connected. In fact, within many entities who I connect to on the human level, there are uh, very small percentage that have been connected to as many entities that you are. This is providing that you are opening yourself to connection to these ideas, that you are opening yourself to awareness of portions of your own self, but also because of the high interest that you carry in this. There are many entities who are of a hybrid nature, but within the closest of the close, there are three entities that stand on levels above other entities that you are perhaps connecting to and perceiving. In these entities, there is an entity who is a reptilian hybrid. This entity is very high in energy, is a type 1 entity who is very closely connected to you. There is another entity that would be what you would consider to be a gray hybrid entity. This entity is a male entity and it's very highly connected. It is what you would say to be a hybrid program for the entities that most humans would tend to call zeta reticuli entities. There is also another entity who is a hybrid of an avian variety. This entity is very highly connected to you as a male entity, and this entity has a very great amount of uh, connectability not only to you, but I am able to perceive much great things of this nature. This entity presides in the area that you would know to be the Large Dipper or the Ursa Majora in
Ah,
constellation, and this is between the first and the third brightest star. It is one that is very dim to the physical eye, but is still visible in many portions of the world that are not highly polluted with light. Um, Within this connection, it is approximately 700 of the light years away, and this entity is very truly interested in you as well as your connection out to him.
brilliant. Can you tell me uh, what that entity looks like, or what's his race or density? The last one you
Yes!
mentioned.
Yes! This is what you would say to be a mid to high fourth density entity. It is beyond the mid range and it is not to the end of the fourth density, so it is in between this area. This entity has a physical appearance of approximately 4.5 to 5 foot. This is the average of their race, but in this entity specifically, there is what you would say to be feathered areas that are around the whole body. It is not as compact a feathering as many of the birds that you see, and not the same style of feathering. It is more uh, loose laying. It is fitting downward on the skin. It is very loose between each area of feathering. They are a dyke gray or a dark gray feathering with black lining. This entity specifically has bright blue eyes. It is very humanish in the face besides the feathering. There is no beak or protruding face. It is much human-like. Um, with the feather idea, there is patterns that are within the side face, cheekbone area, and these patterns are very individual to each entity. Much as a human looks in different ways, these entities' patterns um, separate them from the other entities in a visual aspect. This entity is approximately 220 of your years. The average lifespan is approximately 400 to 450 in their area. Um, this entity is very highly um, looking for your connection, not only as you're wishing to connect outward, he is highly looking at your connection.
That is brilliant. Okay,
Yes!
you spoke to Carlos about hybrid children. You had a session with him, and you mentioned that there is a type 2 reptilian entity connected to my energy. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes! This is a type 2 entity, one that you would not say is very malevolent. It is one that perhaps would go against the free will of another entity, but it does have very deeply connected love to you. It is very highly connected to you. This energy, as soon as your awareness was become of this, it tends to back itself away from the energy of yours, not as if it is fearing you, but now that it understands you are aware and understands the capability, it removes itself from the energy of yours.
Huh, that is interesting. I was hoping to get in touch with it.
Yes, this is still a possibility if you are willing to go through meditative states and trying to connect. For me, the entity is not willing to connect to me very deeply. It is not wishing to connect to my energy, as most type 2s do not wish to. They look at a type 1 entity in one of two ways. They look at them as if they are arrogant. They look at us if we are um, only worried of the love aspect of all creation. And this is a very fair assessment that we are greatly caring of the love and that we incorporate this in our existence. But this does not mean this is all that we care of, and this is how they are perceiving it. And the other way that they are looking at it is the more malevolent styles will look at us as if we are too powerful to overcome, so they do not wish to connect to us in this way.
Ah, understood. But can you tell me in which way was it attempting to infringe upon my free will?
It is not that it is directly attempting. There has been many sleep state connections, ones in which it attaches itself to your energy very deeply, but it is not what you would say direct infringement. Perhaps from a human perspective, when I process this idea through the host mind, if you are to ask him if this truly infringes free will, he would say that it does not. But this is the separation, again, of the belief systems that most type 1 entities have of not connecting deeply and intimately to an energy unless the permission or request is given.
Ah, I understand. Okay, moving on. Next, I would like to know about my origins because through my whole life, I didn't really feel like I belong here. And I have this really powerful feeling of homesickness. Uh, Not to say that I don't like it here and that I don't that I want to go, but I know that I'm having my energies attached to some other place. Can you sense that? Can you sense where it is?
Yes, there is many energies that call to you through aspects of the higher self. Within this incarnation cycle, you have been a human, not as often as most of the other entities who are still here in the incarnation cycle. And this is not due to the fact that you did not start an incarnation cycle here as you did with all of the other humans who are coming here, or most of the ones who have started as Earth and did not come in at a later point. But as you are going through your Earth incarnation cycle, you spend very much time, if you are looking at it in a linear fashion, between the areas of non physical, what you would perhaps say the astral state or the ghost zone, as the host has labeled this, a level that is between the third and fourth density. And during this time as a human, this is how you come into connection with many other entities who come down to teach humanity in the in between state of their existence when they are having this connection or a difficult time to adjust to the afterlife. But within your own existence, this is not the tool that you had used. It is only due to the fact that you are curious of them. So as you see them coming into the reality through another's perception, then you wish to connect to them. And as you do this, you gain very great knowledge. Um, but there is a reason that you are feeling homesick as well as your future incarnations of you, or the most probable future incarnations with you, has stayed the same for a very long period of time. There is a perception of Arcturian energy in one of your most probable future existences, and this probable future existence has remained with you throughout most of your existence. So there is a strong reason that you are to have a probable future as Arcturian energy. There's also many of them that are connected to Syrian energy. There's also what you would say to be Pleiadian energy. So all of these are probable futures within your existence, but the Arcturian is one that stands out the very greatest and most definite within probability of future incarnations.
Excellent, thank you. And that brings me to my next question that I was going to ask you anyways. I had communications with some group consciousness that I at least think is Arcturian, and they weren't physical. That's what I know. And their voices sounded like they speak all at the same time, but my voice was speaking with them, same things. So it's like my mind was a part of the group mind. Was that Arcturian energy?
Yes, but it is not the same idea as the Arcturian future probability incarnation. But to see this in this way, let us express it in this idea. If the future probability comes to fruition within your own soul, then you will be within the mid to high fourth density as you become an Arcturian. In this group, a collective consciousness that has lived on the planet next to yours, but has finished their incarnation cycle, are becoming a collective that lends great energy to the planet that you preside on physically.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Yes!
Um, can you tell me why do I have memories of Alpha Draconians and helping them ascend? Well, groups of them, small groups of them.
There are entities who, what you would say to be Alpha Draconian or the ancient reptilians, that preside in these in between zones in your own existence. And as you are living this non physical between the third and fourth, because they are incarnating physically into the third density so that they may maneuver and mingle in the human way with humanity, dealing with humanity, you are able to perceive this energy, and there is a small section of them that is more steadily growing, that is going from type 2 to a type 1 entity. And as you are in this in between life, as you would see this, there are many of these energies that you are able to perceive, and also you are able to experience, um, let us say, the watching of, or the perceiving of many of these entities changing from a type 2 to a type 1 entity.
I can feel that. I can feel that now, even.
Yes!
Okay, now on to the drawings. You know Awaken, and that she draws images of various extraterrestrials. And I gave Rob two pictures to look at. One was of a reptilian female named Inca, and Awaken told me that she recognized me, like my other self, in that entity. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, this is one aspect of your own consciousness in which you are able to experience in sleep states, also in meditative states. This is one that is linked to you, but it does not have the high probabilities of the entities that we have spoken before as being what you would say to be a future existence or a probable future
Mm-hmm.
within you. It is what you would say in the middle range level of probabilities and within your own consciousness, this idea of the reptilian entities very highly excites you. So this is easily able to draw your energy from this probability into the co-creation that you have made with all of these entities who are dealing with this hybrid program. The hybrid program is also a very exciting aspect of your own self, and this helps all of you be in touch with the same probable energies as well as the same probable entities.
I understand. The other picture that I've gave Rob to look at was of an entity that looks like a gray, and I have had a very strong reaction to it, like not really fearful, but it was a bit shocking. I think it has to do with the, well, I hate to call it abductions, but visitations and hybridization program. So, can you tell me if I'm connected to that entity?
Yes, but within the way that we must do this, the previous idea that the host is to see this, and then I am to connect to this will not be effective nature, as most of the time when the host is perceiving a specific visual aspect or a picture, he's able to come through with an energy that perceives and receives in a neutral way. But as he
Hmm.
sees this, it also energetically affected him in a way that makes a preconception. And in this preconception, the energy that he has attached to this photograph no longer holds a probability of high validity. So within
Ah,
this
okay.
idea, I must connect to you more directly, but I do not wish to do this if it will affect you in a negative way. But what should be requested, if you are willing to, if you wish to experience this idea, is to look more directly at this picture as we are speaking and as you are to produce the energy that you are feeling when you connect to this entity. And then I will connect your energy for this perception.
Okay, I'm looking at the picture right now.
Yes, one moment, please. Yes, this idea is what you would say to be very well understood why the reaction is in a high way. This entity is similarity to a race that you have connected to in a physical way.
In a physical way.
Yes, what you would say to be physical abductions, as most entities would
Ah,
say, physical connections. As you are very young in your vibration, many entities physically connect to you, and this is one of them. Perhaps not the exact entity that energetically links with you, but the same race that presides within this idea.
okay. I have had one experience that I remember of actual physical visitation that later on led to an abduction, and I lost consciousness, and those beings looked like really short gray entities that were white and almost transparent, almost shimmering, like ghostly white. But I could see them with the corner of my eye. And can you tell me more about them?
Yes, this is within the same area of groupage. There
Mm,
are many entities that are known to be grays. Many entities share the same physical characteristics. It is a basic building design of this galaxy. So, as you see this entire galaxy producing many humanoid entities, many of the original grays that have come over from a separate matrix with the help of the ancient reptilians, the ones who connect to humans so that they may further the procreation of their own race. Um, these entities have produced several dozen of layers of what you would think of to be hybrids from humanity. There is well known uh, at least three groupings of hybrid programs that are still in connection with Earth, but there are many of them that are not directly connected to Earth as we speak. And those entities still come back every now and again, if you will. And connect to them. And this gray race is one of these entities, one who is directly related to the original gray aspect, the parallel existence of humans, but has come back to Earth for many reasons. At this point in your time, the energetic shiftings is very great, and this brings back many entities who have not visited for several thousands of years.
that is brilliant. So they all want to
Yes!
be here and experience it and observe it.
Yes, they all have a specific portion of themselves that is drawn to the idea of what this. Some entities will call it an experiment of consciousness. Some will say a grand design of consciousness. Some will say the greatest and the luckiest entities to be alive within the galaxy, and others will call it a horrible abomination. This is greatly depending on the entities whose perceptions are facing down upon you.
Yes, yes, I understand. Um, I wanted to ask you about a dream experience I had. It was a something like a lucid dream, but I think, well, it's probably just as real as any other. Uh, there was an experience where I was in my dream listening to some kind of channeling on my computer. And to cut the long story short, at one point that woman turned and looked into me as I was in my room and started shouting "Ha Natu Nitne." And she was repeating that, and it was very loud, and I knew it was important, but I still can't figure out what it was. Was it a name? Was it some language? Can you tap into that perhaps?
The idea of this vocalized version of this literally has hundreds of probabilities of separate languages that are built from the same systems. The majority of entities who use this specific dialect or variations of this dialect are doing with the gray entities, but there are also what you would say to be hybrids of reptilian and human versions who are genetically formed from the gray programming and experimenting that carry similar dialects to this as well. So to pin out the specific race of this would be very um, low percentages of probabilities in the both of them, um, whether it be the gray entities or the hybrid entities, would be very close to specific probabilities. So it would be very difficult to pick out an exact idea, one that tends to be more probable than the others in this.
Okay, okay, I understand. Next question is, for the past maybe a month since I started doing channeling exercises and since I connected to an entity named Kidioki that Brad is channeling, I have had unusual sensations on my forehead in the area of my third eye, like there's a tube and hot or warm water is going, and I keep touching my forehead to see if there's anything there. It is that distracting and that strong. So can you tell me more about that and in general about my chakras and maybe blockages that I might be having?
Yes! Within this third eye area, this is what you would say to be more opening. It is opening up or activating more strongly. This is one area that you are letting go of now. That is very great. Within these chakra systems that you are having, there is a very great flow that goes through these, but within the areas that tend to be most blocked, if you will, which is still very less blocked than many entities, is within the first chakra and the third area. And this has very slight blockages, and this mostly has to do with human conditioning, the same exact ideas that many entities experience. Let us express it in this idea that if I am comparing these two blockages to another entity, most likely these would not be their worst blockages. This is how slightly these two are being blocked, but still it will affect you in a flowing of pure energy. um, the crown chakra is not as active because it still must process through the third eye area. And now that you are opening more of this, you will find more opening to the crown chakra as well. Within these ideas, reminding yourself of reality, reminding yourself of the safety that you feel in your existence, reminding yourself to not process back to negativity, to not process forward into worry. And these things will help align you more greatly.
Thank you. This is great news and a great confirmation.
Yes!
Okay, can you tell me more about this reptilian entity that you mentioned at the start that is most connected to me? Like, where is he from? And maybe if he wants to tell you his name or what race does he belong to? What hybrid race?
The avian entity that I expressed to you previously is one that is most detailed for my ability to connect to. But
Uh-huh.
in your connection, the other two entities are connected, but not as much information is being taken from this. Within the reptilian entity that we've expressed, this entity is coming from the area. I'm not sure of the name of the constellation, but it is one that is seen from the southern area only of your world. And this
Ah,
is appearing to be a cross or an X, perhaps a kite, if you will.
okay.
I am
Okay.
not sure. Perhaps it is reticuli itself, but it is within this area. It is not a main star within this. It is not one that is very dim to the visible eye. You must use a technology to be able to experience this, even if it is very simple technology, telescope perhaps that you would have within a child's backyard, or even a binoculars. You would be able to perceive this more. But within the area of the world that you are within, the visibility of this would not be as accessible if I am understanding through the host where your specific area of the
Mm-hmm.
world is.
It's up north, yes.
Yes!
Okay, well, I guess I should look it up in star maps.
Yes! The time that we are having is getting close to the end of this. So if you wish to express any ideas that are perhaps more important than the other ideas, if you wish to express them earlier, perhaps this will help assist you to have them answered.
Okay, I have just a couple of questions left. One is about DNA activations that I'm assisting people with. How can I make them better? Like, are there any tips for me to do that? Because I basically, it's like remote viewing. I enter their pineal gland and then work with DNA there. So, do you have any tips for that?
Yes, there is a very simple aspect that will help activate all entities' DNA. The energies of ascensional energies are still strong within the earth. The collective consciousness is able to activate this now because you are truly beginning the fourth density. So, within this aspect, the greatest way to activate DNA is a very simple tool. This is called extreme love at all points of the day. When you are looking at the idea of the wavelengths of energy that consist of excitement and love. They are very frantic energies. The host was expressing this idea to George as well earlier. So, this perhaps will be the greatest time to express this idea. The excitement and love goes up and down very quick, and the lines are very close together, as if you are looking at the squiggly lines that represent light waves. It would be one that is highly compressed and goes up very high and down very
Yeah,
high. So this is touching literally many portions of the DNA within the cells of the physical body. But when a fear or disconnected state, it is a very shallow wave up and down, and it is very long and elongated. So it is literally touching 1/14th of the amount of DNA within your existence that an excited and loving idea would do. So if you are able to get people excited, if you are able to show them great love and make them feel this within themselves, this will be the greatest tool that you are able to use within any um, meditative states, astral projected states. Any of these ideas is the simplest and greatest tool, perhaps, if you will, to help assist this.
that is great advice. Thank you. Um,
Yes!
I only have one more question left.
Yes!
Can you tell me how can I be of service so people better understand reptilians and so that reptilians better understand humans?
Yes! If you wish to have entities experience, one moment as the animals speak.
No problem.
Yes, the idea to help assist other entities with perceptions of reptilians is to express to them the acceptance of their own self. Many entities do not experience acceptance because they are not able to accept themselves. And once they are able to be assisted with the idea of accepting themselves more, they will be able to externally do this as well. This is one way. The other idea is to place the connection of love with reptilian entities. And because this is difficult to do, you must take perhaps ideas that you consider to be universal symbolisms for love, such as hearts, music, things that are exciting in this way, and connect them to visual aspects or symbolisms of reptilian entities as well. To provide the linking of symbolisms can be a very strong subconscious tool to use to help assist the entities in the understanding of the higher ideas.
So basically, by using symbols, I would be going around their mind level and right into their hearts.
Yes, their subconscious mind and also their hearts as well. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Trev. This was amazing.
Yes, you are very welcome. It is quite amazing to experience this connection, as the host thinks very highly of you as well. So it is
Thank you.
exciting for him as well. I am glad that all three of us have had great excitement in this um, connection or communication, if you will. And with this being expressed, I will leave you this evening in love and in light, and we will connect again very soon.
Much love to you, Treb. Goodbye.
Good night.